The Making of a Sire. Flying Cowboy 123. In the final chapter of The Making of a Sire, Flying Cowboy 123's career on the racetrack was nearing an end. A career that had seen the apolitical Jess Colt making national racing headlines in Grand Prairie, Texas as a 2-year-old, as he would go on to defeat the All-American Futurity winner in victory in the Grade 1 $1 million Texas Classic Futurity. Then getting the nod in more headlines in Oklahoma City, as owner Tommy Leeper took to the stage and accepted the award for his Colt's Flying Cowboy 123 being awarded the AQHA Champion 2-year-old Colt. And even more racing headlines were to be made when it was announced that Bob Moore Farms in Norman, Oklahoma had landed the deal to stand Flying Cowboy 123 after his racing career was over. As a 3-year-old back on the mountain at Ruidoso, Flying Cowboy 123 qualified and put in a valiant effort to finish 4th in the Ruidoso Derby, before going on to destroy his rivals in the Grade 1 All-American Derby trial to qualify into the finals. Now in the finals, Flying Cowboy 123 ran another staunch effort to finish 3rd in a Grade 1 event. And then it was back to Texas to try to pull off the Texas Classic Futurity and Texas Classic Derby double. That's a feat only pulled off by 2 other notable runners who turned into perennial sires, if not legendary, in quarter horse racing.
He ran 3rd in the All-American Derby finals, run a good race, ran with the best horses in the world. He held his own. No disgrace, no embarrassment at all. Was very pleased to be stakes place in the Grade 1 All-American Derby. We, of course, we leave Ruidoso, come to Lone Star, and we're in the back of our minds, we're thinking, he likes this place. And we got to get him qualified. Just get him qualified, then we go the next step.
That next step was the Texas Classic Derby trials at Lone Star Park, the place of Flying Cowboy 123's largest triumph in his career in the Texas Classic Futurity as a 2-year-old. Now the Colt would be subjected to possibly what would be his final test in the Texas Classic Derby trials.
And they're off. Decent enough start for Flying Cowboy 123 on the inside, but toward the outside, Wee Bee broke beautifully and is drifting in. Coach coming right there. Flying Cowboy 123 kicking on with a good rally. Final 16th. Flying Cowboy 123 and Ricky Ramirez very strong here. Coach coming. Wee Bee are next. That's Flying Cowboy 123. Add a photo for second.
Another strong qualifying performance made Flying Cowboy 123 the fastest qualifier going into the finals of the Texas Classic Derby.
Well, we did hold him back just for the Ruidoso races and Texas Classic Derby, of course, that he was paid up in. And that was just because we knew what we had. We knew we had a fast horse, and he was sound enough to probably stay together if he qualified for all 3 out there at Ruidoso, which he didn't, but he ran good in the Ruidoso Derby, and of course run a good 3rd in the All-American Derby. And then of course now he's got the fastest time in the Texas Classic Derby. So, you just got to take care of horses like that. He's really fast, and some horses that are really fast like him tend to get hurt. And lucky enough for us that he's been pretty sound, and we haven't had any major issues with him.
He did it. He didn't break it as sharp as the number because I think he stood in one hole a little longer than normal for him, and he didn't break all that great. And then he made a run there at the end, which is notorious for running at the end, and run a good race. Had to wind up with the fastest time. Come back so far, he's came back super. So we've got our fingers crossed to see what happens.
They're off in the Texas Classic Derby, and hopping at the start was first True Heart. Flying Cowboy 1, 2, 3 out like a champ. Flying Cowboy 1, 2, 3, the early leader. FM Cartel Rock is right there. MM4 in the morning on the inside. Then Midday News toward the outside. American Hustle and Weeby. Flying Cowboy 1, 2, 3 won the Texas Classic Futurity, and now Derby. He takes it a half length to FM Cartel Rock.
You know, the horse broke decent grip, but he kind of broke in on me a little bit. The 6-horse out me about a half, and you know, I just went to do my job and asked him for some run and hit him left-handed a few times, and he responded very well. About halfway down the track, he just gave me another gear and finished very, very strong.
I think he'll be a successful, stud horse because of his pedigree, his conformation, his talent. His intelligence, it's all there. We've been fortunate enough to have some stud horses that we've had, and I think he fits right up there with the best of them that I've ever had. We've had One Famous Eagle, and he's smart like One Famous Eagle was, and he's fast like One Famous Eagle was. But there's no reason why he shouldn't be a stud horse. A producer, not just stutter, but been, produced. But those three factors are a big deal to me: money, sense, and conformation.
He's a apolitical judge's son, and he's going to fall in line with the rest of them. Maybe better. Depends upon what people like to look at as far as conformation. He's got a good mind. We think he'll be easy to manage and breeding sheds, so I think he's going to do as well or better as the ones that are producing right now.
Yeah, I hate to see him leave. They're hard to replace, those horses like Cowboy, and I hope obviously I wish him well, and I'm going to sure recommend some of my clients breed to him, obviously, and maybe we'll be sitting here one of these days talking about one of his offsprings.